Check, check, check. Hello and welcome back, F1 race fans. We are here today. I'm Fabregas115 for the Elite Aspect F1 Gold League, going around Miami Grand Prix circuit. Sorry, I had my other commentator on, just trying to figure out if I was even live and going web. So here we are today, Elite Aspect F1 Gold League, round 5 of Season 1 here at the Miami Grand Prix. We're on board and looking at TP Dobie Fire, who is a reserve driver in that Haas, but he seems to be going pretty well around here, getting pretty stuck in, seems to be on some sort of rails there. Hasn't put in the lap yet, he's just started one, but we're going to actually see as he approaches the long straight here and going to get down into turn 11. So lots of drivers on track here. We are doing 3 qualifying rounds here, Q3, Q1, Q2, Q3, to set the grid around here. A very interesting circuit we do have, but again, let's start from the beginning. I am Fabregas115, bringing to you live commentary for Elite Aspect F1 Gold. We've had a great run into the season so far. We are on round 5 here at the Miami Grand Prix, around the Miami Garden Circuit. Used to be the Hard Rock Cafe. I guess it maybe still is. But yeah, the circuit's only been around since 2022. It is 5.412 kilometers. That's roughly 3.36 miles. We're going to be doing 29 laps around here today. On pace, on track, race record is a 1:29.708 done by Max Verstappen just a little bit earlier this year, but I expect to see that being broke really, really fast, especially at qualifying. We'll see if anybody can do anything close to that on race pace with worn tires and full fuel. Maybe at the end of the race, if somebody can put on a set of softs, we will see. But at the moment, we are early on in Q1 with, more than 15 minutes to go. And those timing lines are just getting lit up with, drivers just crossing. Blake Strange was the first. Hoggerton, 11 was there. VDB, who is a Dax. I'm sorry if I murder your name. I don't mean to do that. But at the same time, I think we're just going to see a lot of drivers just putting in good times. The track's going to rubber in. We're going to see a little bit of track evolution here. We've got too many drivers on track at the moment. Looks like they're already in the race pace. So let's get after it. Really happy to be here. I'm Fabregas115, bringing to you live commentary of this race, which is, again, we're in Season 1, Round 5 of Elite Aspect F1 Gold League. So yeah, we just saw the AlphaTauri overtake the Haas there. Both of them have the DRS open, but maybe one of them's trying to set up a lap and one of them's trying to finish a lap, or could just stuck in the slipstream. But then again, you don't want to be behind somebody going into that final turn of, well, it's not even really the final turn, turn 17. It is, but then we have turn 18 and 19. So we are here at the Miami Gardens, 5.412 kilometers. That's roughly 3.36 miles. We do have 19 turns around this circuit. However, some of them really shouldn't be considered turns. It's a very interesting circuit. We're going to get on board with somebody here in just a minute and really take a view and a whole rundown of this track. Again, it's a newer track. They had to rerun the pavement just last year. So in 2022, they had some issues. And then again in 2023, they redid the pavement. They kind of changed the turn 14, 15 area a little bit. Underneath that's the really tight chicane. Left, righter. Going to be interesting to see how drivers cope with that. We do have a couple off-camber turns here as we're just scrolling through the drivers that have put in times. We got a bunch of drivers, still a bunch of drivers in the pits, and we will see what these guys are going to do. We'll tell you though a couple things interesting as I just thumb down through who's on track, who's not. The two race winners that we have had this season, which would be LH44 and MDJ 2022. Neither of them are at this circuit. So one of them has won one race. That's MDJ and in the Haas, and the other one has won 3 races so far this season in the Alfa Romeo, I do believe. So LH Monty, who is leading the driver standings at the moment, is not in this race, and neither is MDJ 2002, who I believe does race in the Haas. He is not here this evening as well. So you've got some backup drivers, a couple of reserve drivers filling in those positions here, and they will not, accrue driver standings, but they will be able to help out their teams. So what we're looking at is obviously VDB Desks already putting it on provisional pole here in Q1 for the Alfa Romeo. That definitely helps that team. And then we also have who's filling in for the Haas. Looks like TP Toby Fire doing a great job, already in 17th place. And then we got Toxic Blade, who I don't even think's put in the lap yet. 2 other drivers I do want to talk about this evening would be Young Lights, who is our lead driver in McLaren at the moment. I think he's sitting 3rd or 4th in the driver standings, just putting in top fives after top fives. His teammate is not here today as well, so it will be Dixie Wreck 44 who will be supplying some constructor standings there for the McLaren. So we'll see how that works out, because I believe the McLarens are sitting in 2nd place behind the Alfa Romeos in the constructor standings. So it's going to be really interesting to see how these drivers play out. Look, we still got plenty of time here in Q1 left. Drivers are just calling out, put on a set of tires, and did a couple laps. Trying to get a feel for the circuit, maybe put a little bit of rubber down, and feel where they want to find that rubber when they're out there. As we see Dixie Wreck miss a little bit of apex into turn 1. Coming around turns 2 and 3 now, trying to hug that right sideline to get ready for the fast left, right, left of turns 4, 5, and 6 here. And then we have a really difficult break zone, and he's already backed out of that one. So we'll figure somebody else out to ride on board and do a really good fast lap around here, just to give you an idea of what the track is like. But we got plenty of time left here in Q1. Still plenty of drivers that need to put in times. Some fast drivers out there, actually. Young Lights, Toxic Blades, Kubica, VDV, and Kadri have not put in a time yet. So what we're going to do is we're just going to step off for a minute and rest my voice just a second, and come back with maybe 3 or 4 minutes left, and watch these drivers really do what they're supposed to do and put in those fast times. Because even drivers that are out on track right now, even if they're putting in out laps, they're going to come back into the pits and they're going to put on a fresh set of tires and get right back out there. So this is really, really interesting. We've got 20 drivers on the grid tonight, so unless you're in the top 15, you're not going through to Q2. So it's going to be really, really interesting to see how everything plays out here for the Miami Grand Prix of F1 Gold League Season 1, Round 5. Alright, and we are back with Elite Aspect F1 Gold League around the Miami Garden Circuit here for the Miami Grand Prix. In the Q1, of course, every driver seems to put in something. Toxic Blade still in the pit in that Haas. That's rather interesting. We want to see him come out. Bladestream has already retired, so he feels like he is safe. VDV Ali has already retired as well in that Alpine. Well, feel like he's safe. VDB Dex has, if I'm still pronouncing that right, Dex. Sorry if I'm still murdering your name. I do apologize. Trying to get that right. Yeah, Young Lights is also retired, so we're going to see some of these drivers trying to get into it. TP, Toby Fire in the Haas is the one at risk. So is Albaska and Diaska as well, as we're going to see some of these other drivers come out. Dixie Wrecked, he's had good pace around here, so is Jake's Man United. CR7, I guess he's either a Cristiano Ronaldo fan and also a Man United fan, so gotta look at that. Dex is also already decided to retire from the session, so they feel like they're safe. So we're going to have a little melts going around here. I'm going to find out who is on an outlap, and we're going to do a round of Miami Gardens. So we're going to pick up with the Aston Martin of Diaz here as it goes into turn 1. Different braking zone there. This track is a little bit slippery, but as we head into turns 2 and 3, it's going to be full throttle until we get into these S's here. You want to back off just a little bit down on the accelerator and then downshift as you want to turn that front end down. And then we've got this strange, interesting off-camber braking zone going into turn 7 and 8. And then we've got a long straight, but it's not quite a straight as we do have a little right kink. And then around the left-hand turn, which is 11, DRS will be open here. And this is where we're going to see a lot of overtakes into turn 11, 12, 13 complex. As the 13 is you want to kind of get off the gas and then get around into turn 13. And it's going to be full throttle, but then another heavy braking zone up this really tight chicane. And they've got that little barrier in there that will throw you off if you don't. But as soon as you get out of that, take turn 15, turn 16, and then get on that throttle, because we're going to have another major deployment of ERS. Open that DRS, take the long straight down into turn 17, which is about the 150 meter board. I would say braking zone, about first, second, I would say third gear, if some people want to do it. But he is coming into the pits, and he will live to fight another day, actually, as he's sitting 14th right now. Not going to have enough time to put on another set of tires. Toxic Blade is out there. We're actually going to ride on board with him for just a little bit, because if he can get around the track fast enough, he's going to be able to put in a lap. I think this is the actual lap he's doing right now, as he is just getting into the turns 3, 4, 5 complex here. Tough braking zone down into turn 7 and 8 again. We take a little right kink, and then we just get full throttle on the power going through turns 9 and 10. Deploy that DRS, and we'll see that if the other driver in front, if they're within 1 second. Well, this is a very long straight. About the 125 meter board, I would say, is when he broke. Maybe a little bit later than people should. But at the same time, he seemed to manage that well and was able to carry it as he does a very good turn 13, 14, 15 complex here. That hard left-hander of turn 16 comes up really quick on that power and just keep on hitting. Driver in front's a little bit too much for him to pick up a slipstream, but with the DRS open, I think we're going to see a lot of that in the race. We are still in Q1 here, so a lot of drivers are going to look to move up, but this is Toxic Blade who hasn't put in a time yet. So if he's made a mistake in this lap at all, which to me, riding on board with him, doesn't look like he has, we're going to have to see what he pulls out to. Only puts it up 17th, so that's not really that fast, even though he does have, I will have to say, he does have a qualifying ban for Q3, so he's not going to be able to participate higher than 10th in the first place. I believe I'm correct with that. But yeah, it looks like we need to get on board with Dixie Wrecked and Deco at the moment. Nope, Dixie Wrecked is the only one out there that's going to be able to put in a time. He just kind of cut turn 13, 14 there, out of turn 15 and then 16 again. Didn't invalidate the lap, so yeah, maybe the right choice is to go hard into turn 14 there to set yourself up for 15, and then again 16, getting a good exit. We're going to see what Dixie Wreck can do here. 129, 151 is what he did do. A little bit late on the brakes and getting a little bit deep. Obviously coming out of turns 17 and then to 18, 19. He's coming into the pit, so that's going to be his day done as well here in Q1. SMD, you carried. Fantastic job from her, I believe. If I can get my pronouns properly, as far as I know. She has put it on pole position, provisional pole, here in Q1. And at the moment, it looks like Diaz, Toxic Blade, Death Knockout, Dixie Wrecked, and Deco will be eliminated from this Q1 session here in Elite Aspect F1 Gold, round 5 of Season 1. I'm not recording. All right, yeah, so that's going to do it for Q1 here of round 5 of Season 1 here in Elite Aspect Gold. Young Lights with a fantastic time with the 128.254 on the medium tires, but SMD, you carried in that Aston Martin, did a 127.869. Let's scroll on down and see. Diaska, the Aston Martin, Toxic Blade in the Haas, Death Knockout in the Mercedes, Dixie Wrecked in the McLaren, and Deco in that Red Bull were all eliminated from Q1. That's very, very tight, though, as we scroll up and down looking at those times in between them. Not much going on, especially between 15 and 7th there. We're only looking at about 4/10 separating those, so I think Q2 is going to be very, very interesting as we get into it here for Elite Aspect F1 Gold Season 1, Round 5, around the Miami Gardens for the Miami Grand Prix. So 15 drivers left, and let's get into round qualifying 2 here and see what's going on. I'm actually just going to step away for a moment. We're going to give these guys about 4 or 5 minutes to get on track, put some rubber down, maybe get a feel for the circuit, and see what's going on with them. Alright everyone, welcome back to F1 Gold, Elite Aspect F1 Gold League. We're at Q2 now. About 9 minutes left on the clock, that'll give us about 12 minutes left in total. Riding on board with VDV Ali, who is about to start his lap, as we're going to get in there. Most people have already set their lap here with Q2. They're going to get their tires changed and put on another set. But we're going to ride on board with VDV in that Alpine, who hits the apex into turn 1, around turn 2, and then 3, which is really, really fast, but a little bit slippery, as we need to consider that. And then full throttle, and then we want to get into the fast left-right-handers of turns 4 and 5 here. Off the throttle, downshift just a little bit, then a weird acceleration and braking zone going into turn 7 and 8 here. Then we're going to get on full throttle, and in the race, they're probably going to be using ERS here to try to get better acceleration. And we'll see what their setups are like to get that traction out of turn 8. But it's full throttle, ERS open through turns 9, 10, down to turn 11, which is a difficult braking zone. You want to set yourself up for turn 12 here, which is a long right-hander. And then we go through turns 13, which is a difficult braking zone, into turn the chicane of 14 and 15. Set yourself up on the right side so you can get the maximum exit out of turn 16, and then it is just full power, everything you got. Long run down to turn 17 here as that DRS gets open, get over the sides. And yeah, I'd say probably about the 125, 150 board is what we need to brake. Maybe down to second, maybe third gear. As we look at these things, I don't even have everything on, but I mean, yeah, that's a very slippery part of the section. And VDV puts himself 4th place in that Alpine already, with plenty of time left here in Q2. So pretty much everybody else in the pit besides D. Biaggi, who is in the Williams, as he is coming through. Yeah, he's just now getting into turn 6, 7, and 8. We'll ride on board with him as he gets into turn 7 and 8. Of course, these two fast left-handers, kind of, I don't know, medium speed left-handers. But yeah, full throttle as we want to get through turns 9 and then 10 again. The little left-hander kink there. Open that DRS and send everything you have. Get on that right side, get about 100-meter board. A little bit late to the apex, but that's okay if you can get on the other side. Set yourself up through this to make sure you can accelerate all through it, and then on the brakes as you're turning again. Took that chicane pretty well, as a matter of fact, and then around turn 17, turn 16. And yeah, it's just a full throttle drag race pretty much to the end of it. Hit the brakes about the 116 mark. Did miss the apex. Well, didn't really miss the apex. Just got a better exit out of there. Traction was pretty good coming out of that turn there. Turn 17 and then 18 and 19. And yeah, puts himself in 11th. So still not safe though, as we're only in Q2 here. So we are looking at Guy Biagio, I guess is his name. Don't know if he's talking about Roberto Baggio or what's going on there with his name, but it looks like Baggio, or I don't know. He had a brother that played for the Italian team way back in the early 90s, I do believe. Tickle Me is still in 12th. Jake Man United CR7 in 13th. Blade Strange in 14th. That's interesting, as he was doing very well in Baku just the last round. And then TP, Toby5, who looked like he had pace in Q1, but has obviously slowed a little bit here in Q2. So I think we're going to have a lot of drivers doing their out laps now. Young Lights and VDV have already retired with that 127, mid 127s, and then again, 127, 8, or 9. So they think they're safe. They don't think that anybody else in Q2 is going to be able to bother them. So what we're thinking about is probably doing a 128.4. We'll probably put you in to Q3 here as we're riding on board with some of these guys and looking at what's going on here. Not sure if Di Biagio is up on his time. He should be coming into the pits, I would think. So that's going to be it for him. We've got Tickle Me, who is just now rounding turn 8. getting ready to go into turn 9 and turn 10. Open that DRS, make this car as straight as possible. Is he going to be able to put this as, I don't know, 128.5 maybe, is kind of what he's looking at minimum, to make sure that he's safe. Definitely kept the apex there around turns 12 there, and then into 13, 14, 15. Make sure you get to the right side to get your best apex out of turn 17. On the throttle, get it going. Using a hot lap here, so you can't actually burn more DRS than you're supposed to. But we're going to open that DRS, and NL Boss did a 127.863. Still out there. Those are tied. Kubica and NL Boss. Kubica doing very, very well. Tickle Me did just lose a little bit out of the apex coming out of turn 17 there, but around turns 18 and 19, crossing the line, only puts himself 12th, so that's not going to do it. If he had the ERS, he could do another lap. We're going to ride on board with Jake now. In the Alfa Romeo, he is down into turns 12 through 13. This is a very tricky section. If you lose time here, you're going to lose a lot of time here, especially as these apexes get really, really quick. If you can get on that throttle just a little bit more, gain another mile per hour, kilometer per hour, if it is, that's what you want down this straight. It will definitely better you off. We do have Tickle Me in the Ferrari about to cross the line. I think so. No, it must have been somebody else, or doing an outlap maybe in the other Ferrari. Maybe it was Cadrillo, who definitely wants to improve, so he's probably on a hot lap now. So we'll keep an eye on him. But at this moment, we're going to watch Jake cross the line. Moves up to 8th, right behind his teammate, who is a reserve tonight. Yeah, so well done. I think that could be safe, but no, we're going to get on board with Kadri, I'm sorry, as he is just coming out and just purpled the first sector coming out of turn 8. Now into turn 9, I'm going to just put that throttle down. Now it's just a question of what's your setup like, how much differential are you running to be able to get on the gas, and how much aero effects are you running. Definitely hit that apex into turn 11. Now around turn 12, keep it tight, and you want to make sure you're tight so you can get a good acceleration out of here into the whole 13, 14, 15 complex. Get to the right side, straight to the left to get out of turn 16, and now it's just a crapshoot. Get on that throttle and make sure you've got the highest speed. Looks like he's got a little bit of a draft in front of him. Somebody else is setting up for a lap in front of him as well. So, I mean, just poking a little bit of air, holes through that air would be beneficial. It looks like, I don't know, Williams in front of him, maybe? As EQZ, Kadri is now crossing the line, puts himself third fastest to get himself into Q3. But I think it's the Williams of D. Biage that we are riding on board with now, who was just in front. As they are rounding these turns of 2, 3, 4 into the 4, 5, 6 section. Now around turns 6, 7, and 8, which is very, very difficult. But at the same time, let's get through turn 8 and then through turn 9, and then on the gas, get through turns 10, 11, I'm sorry, 9 and 10, open that DRS and get after it, really. What's your arrow set at? How much drag do you have on that car? Move over to the right side, get on those brakes, hit that apex into turn 11 and 12. Wasn't the best of turn 11, but see if they can make it up just a little bit here. We know that Williams tend to be slippery in a straight. Did a pretty good job through 14 and 15 there as we round turn 16 on the throttle and just send it as far as you can, as fast as you can, and get up, burn everything you have here. Open that DRS as quickly as possible. Try to really maximize nothing slowing that car down. About the 100-meter board, we're going to get into turns 17 and then the little left-hander of 18, 19. To finish the lap is Di Biagio going to be able to improve. He gets up to 11, so that's not going to be good enough to set him. Who else do we have? SMD and Carrot. Who's furthest up? I think we got to look at Hoggard 11 here, and as he is just now, nope, he's just now finishing up. He puts himself in the ninth place. That's going to probably keep him safe. Maybe, as we do have Kratos, who hasn't finished his lap yet. He's in the Red Bull coming down the back straight, and looks like he's backed off a little bit, so I think that's going to be Kratos out. We do have SMDU Carrot, who was right behind him, maybe doing a slipstream. They want to get into turns 17, 18, 19 now. Where's SMDU Carrot going to end up top the, and puts himself fourth. So the only person we have is Tickle Me in that Ferrari is pulling into the pit. So that's going to do it for Q2 here around the Miami Gardens Grand Prix circuit for the Miami Grand Prix and Elite Aspect F1 Gold League for Q2. So we'll see you in Q3. The top 10 will progress. So it looks like Jake, Man United, Kratos, D. Biagio, TP Toby Fire, and Tickle Me have all gone out in Q2. It's those top 10 drivers that we see are going to fight for pole position here for the Miami Grand Prix and Elite Aspect F1 Gold round 5 of season 1. Alright, welcome back. We're here with Elite Aspect F1 Gold for Q3 at the Miami Grand Prix. This is Season 1, Round 5. We're riding on board with VDB Dex, who kind of missed the apex coming around one of the final turns there. Middle of the turns, but into the pits they go, so didn't really happy with that one. And we see a lot of other drivers coming into the pits as Blade Strange gets past one. I'm not sure how that happened. Must have pit assist on or something. Not quite sure. We got Young Lights on an outlap. We'll ride on board with him as he takes a weird line. Not really. Just using as much of the track as possible. Still on an outlap. So warming up those tires and probably has plenty of time to do a lap, get in, and get back out if needed be. But we've seen the pace of Young Lights. I do want to go ahead and set up the fact that we are riding on board with Young Lights. He is the one that set up this league and got it really going. So big shout out to him. Do appreciate all his hard work and everything he's been doing to get us in with Elite Aspect. There is also a Silver League that races on Saturday. We just started an F2 League that races on Thursday. So that should be interesting once we start that next week. And yeah, so he's just setting himself up to do a fast lap here. Everybody else is in the pits. So Young Lights has his track to himself. We're going to see if anybody comes out right in front of him. But he's going to turn his DRS on and make sure that's on hot lap mode and get out of turn 16, 17, 18, 19 here and set himself up, open that DRS and make his run down into turn 1. So here's a little rundown of how this track works. Get all the way to the left side. Make sure you get a good apex out of turn. Just stay to the inside just a little bit so you can get through turns 2 and 3 properly, as it is a long turn 3 into the whole turn 4 or 5 section. We're just getting off the gas and then downshifting just a little bit into 5th, maybe even 6th gear if you want to take it. But stay to that outside line. Very well done there by Young Lights. I think his lines are absolutely perfect. And then we just want to keep this car as straight as possible as we get through turns 8 and into turn 9 and 10. Open that DRS. We're going to run down this long straight and just wait till we can get into turn 11. Now this is where the meat and potatoes are made. This is where you bake the muffins. In Sector 2, kind of the end of Sector 2, as you go through turns 10, 11, 12, and 13, and then 14, 15, up the chicane. Make sure you can cut the corners as much as possible, but not invalidate anything and not definitely give yourself a penalty. As we exit turn 16, and we want to get that DRS detection zone in the race, that'll be very important. But we're going to open that DRS just on the Aramco sign and make the long run down into turn 17. About the 100-meter board, we're going to brake, put it into 3rd gear, maybe even 2nd, get a little bit more rear rotation, straight on the gas, especially again, there's a very slippery section there. I expect to see a lot of drivers lose the rear end, but hold it tight, and Young Lights puts it fastest lap with a 1:27.152. That is absolutely lightning fast around here. But we're going to see a lot of other drivers coming out of the pits now and get ready to set their fastest times. So that might not be safe for pole position. CPI 0, NL Boss, even SMD UK, who are all doing sub 128s, they're going to be looking to take that top spot off of Young Lights at the moment. I'm not sure Young Lights has enough ERS to really deploy a hot lap around here, as these straights are just going to eat it up, and he's not going to get much out of the braking zones. So we're going to see if he can maybe better his time, which is possible. We are seeing a lot of drivers right now coming out and doing their hot laps. Doing their out laps. And we're definitely going to see a influx of times being set around this track here in just a little bit. We still got a couple drivers in the pits as well. But what we're going to do is we're going to keep on board with Young Lights at the moment and then see what these other drivers behind him are doing. As soon as those out laps disappear, we're going to ride on board with them in the order that we should, see what kind of times they're doing. So Young Lights definitely pulls into the pits. I think he burned up that set of softs on his end lap, so that's unfortunate. But that 1:27.152 is pretty damn good. We got Aston Martin and a Williams, I thought. Just trying to figure out who's still doing an out lap. we've got Kubica in the AlphaTauri. He's the one that started his hot lap first above anybody. So we're going to see what kind of times he's doing. Can he purple the first sector? That would definitely be awesome. Just a downshift through turns 3 and 4, 5 here. Try to keep on it as much as possible in that really, really strange braking zone into turns 7 and 8. And then that'll be important, as he did purple the first sector, as this track is starting to rubber in. And definitely track evolution is always a thing. We thought that maybe it wasn't, but he's approaching his teammate who needs to get out of the way and just compromised his line. Absolutely. Blade Strange just, I'll be the first one to say it, Blade Strange just screwed Kubica. I'm going to say that. Sorry about that. Kadri, we do want to see him in the in the Ferrari. See how he does as he is exiting, turns 10 with the DRS open. He's making his way down into turn 11 and through that whole 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 complex, which is a very interesting part of this track. If you can get this one right, then yeah, it's amazing. And we'll see what that means, as we are kind of bouncing around a little bit, as we have pretty much everybody on a hot lap at this moment. So probably a couple drivers ahead that I've just missed out on, as we see Kubica and Blade Strange have not improved. Looks like, did Kadri just back out? Maybe. Maybe he'll be able to, no, he's got to get across the line if he wants to do another lap. He's got to get there fast. NL Boss just took pole position. Sorry I missed that. In the Williams, NL Boss just took pole position from Young Lights. CPI 0 still out there. He's now rounding turns 17 and then going through 18 and 19. But it looks like he's pulling into the pits, so not going to do it for him. SMD Carrot, she's been doing pretty well this entire time, but there's other drivers in front of her that I definitely want to pick up with. Kubica might be doing another lap. I'm not quite sure. How about the Mercedes of Hogger and 11? Is he going to be able to improve and put himself up? Yeah, he puts himself up into 5th, so well done from that perspective. We got Aston Martin about to cross the line. That'll be SMDU Carrot, puts it pole position at the moment, as we have a Williams about to cross the line too. Which one is that? That'll be BDV Ali, in the Alpine, puts himself in 5th position. And then we should have an Alfa Romeo about to cross the line as well. Pulled into the pits, that's fine. Just going to make sure they get out of there. There's an AlphaTauri about to come out. That's Blade Strange. Did he have enough? Hell, puts himself 5th. As we see a couple drivers moving up, a couple drivers moving down here in these final moments. It looks like Kubica has failed to put in a lap, and that's going to do it. No, we still have NL Boss. No, he's just coming around. He's already put it in 2nd position. I don't think he can put it in a lap in. Unless he did it in time. I don't think he did. So that's going to do it. SMDU Carrot puts it on pole with a 127 flat, 047. NL Boss just, a few 3 or 4 tenths, a few 3 or 4 hundredths behind SMDU Carrot. So that's a very, very fantastic run there. Young Light sitting 3rd at the moment. Still on a, nope, that's invalidated. So not going to be able to put another lap in. I don't believe. We're going to wait for them to get round. And that's probably going to do it for Q3 here. Alright, so there you have it. SMDU Carrot will start on pole position. NL Boss, 2nd on the 1st row. Young Lights and CPI 0 will be the 2nd row. Blade Strange VDV Ali will be the 3rd. Hogger and 11, Kubica will be the 4th row. And Kadri and Dex, will be on the 5th row. And that's going to do it for Q3 here. We're about to get started here. There's not going to be a formation lap. We're just going to cut that out because there's too much going on as far as the lobbies are concerned. Like, you can't even do a formation lap now because as soon as somebody lines up wrong, it completely glitches the lobby. And yeah, it's no fun. I mean, as much as it should be, we should have it. We should be able to talk about it and do a whole driver rundown and who we think is going to be going out there on what tires and projections and stuff like that. We can't do that now in this game because they decided they don't know how to make a game properly, and they still haven't fixed it. So that's unfortunate, but at the same time, I will tell you this. We're looking for an exciting race. It's always been exciting. This is Elite Aspect F1 Gold League, and it's just exciting to watch. And it doesn't matter if there's a formation lap. It doesn't matter that we don't get to see, the rundown of tires and who's on what and this, that, and the other. I'll explain all that to you during the process of the race. Pretty much what happens with Elite Aspect Gold is we just have good racing. And that's what we're looking forward to. So, not going to be a formation lap. We've got 5 red lights. And away we go. SMDU Carrot did get away okay. I think Boss and Young Lights might have got a better start there. No, it looks like the McLaren is dropping back to the Alpine of CPI 0 already. It's going to be a different turns here as we have inside, outside traction. And who's going to be it? It looks like Blade Strange in that AlphaTauri is definitely looking to make something happen as he's on the inside. Now, Young Lights has to be wary. Coming to the outside now, can't really move that position. He's on the hard tires, and we see a lot of drivers on the mediums. You would think there's a lot of stuff going on behind. We definitely want to make sure we keep an eye on that as well, as they're 3, 4, 5 wide, trying to make the run through this final sector here of Sector 2, getting into Sector 3. We don't know what's going to happen, as these guys are all going to have a heavy braking zone. Who's on it best? Looks like the Red Bull of Kratos has definitely got himself up a few positions now. We've seen a couple positions lost in the background there, but that Red Bull has done very, very well. Also, Kadri in 7th place right now. That was good. Young Lights has lost a few positions. VDV and Blade Strange had a great start, especially just keeping those elbows out and maintaining their position. Nobody made contact at all. So right now it is pretty much NL Bosch trying to break that slipstream of SMDU Carrot. CPI 0 all over the back of them as well. We've got the 2 Alpines. We're just riding on board with Blaze Strange at the moment, trying to see what goes on in front. NL Bosch did set the fastest lap, as that is the first lap. But I think SMDU Carrot trying to pull out and use as much traction, as much space as possible. Those medium tires seem to be the right tire to start on. I was just looking back. I don't think anybody started. Sorry, I think I had a disconnect there. I don't think anybody started on the soft compound tires. We can definitely look back at that in just a minute. But it does look like SMDU Carrot defending Bosch down to the inside. SMDU Carrot just sticking to her line and doing what she needs to do. We do have Hogern and Dex definitely having a little bit of a fight here. Maybe that was a little bit of tap in the rear end. Hopefully they didn't lose any front wing there. If we saw that, we might get some debris out on track. But we've got a very, 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 very tight race here from the start. Both Alpines sitting in 3rd and 4th at the moment. VDB Ali has definitely moved up. CPI 0 had a good start as well. I think Young Light started on the hard tires, and that probably cost him a little bit. But we'll see. Sorry, I just got the hiccups for some reason. I'm breathing in too much air and trying to expel it at the same time, as we see CPI 0 trying to get out of the dirty air, get a good braking zone into turns 1, 2, and around to turn 3. You have to keep it up, though. I mean, all these drivers are within a lot of, within 1 second of each other. As we see Harder and Lickme, there's Tickle Me, they're still getting into it. Just above, Dex just got past Tickle Me as well. So that's a very, very interesting move from Hogern there. Very well done around the outside. I think Dex will definitely be looking to come back at them. We're going to go ahead and take a look at who's got what tires on. We've got the medium. Most people running the medium tires. Well, and then we just missed a pass there. We didn't, but we saw it online. As we see Dex, and then get bumped and spun around into the braking zone of turns 8, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I would have to say that they should report that because that wasn't very, very cool. That was just late on brakes and definitely hitting the car in front of you. It's causing a collision, and that's my perspective. But it doesn't really matter about that. We've got a bunch of drivers on the medium tires, a couple drivers on the soft tires. We've got the McLaren of Dixie Wreck, who is driving on the soft tires as well. Has he been able to move up a little bit? Did he get a better exit out of one of those turns? Was able to use a slipstream. Now he's got to get to the inside and hold that inside line. You can't push somebody out. I mean, you can apparently now these days. But definitely made that move done. So well done by them to get that done. We're going to go ahead and turn off the tires. We're going to look at a position change. So VDV Ali up 4 spots already. SMDU Carrot now down 4 spots. That's interesting to see how that happened. Not sure if there was contact. Kratos up 5 spots already. Very well done. And Dixie Wreck in that McLaren up 8 spots. So we definitely want to keep an eye on some of those drivers. NL Boss is leading this race, got away well, and is not holding back on those medium tires. BDV up 4 spots, sitting in that Alpine, pulling his teammate along as well. DRS is enabled. We haven't had a yellow flag here yet. We have had a little bit of contact. Some things have happened. But now as we ride on board with CPI 0, we see VDV Ali taking the inside line here. Now on the outside line, trying to get around, pulling his teammate behind. Who's going to be the better exit out of the... Oh, no, and that's just a touch. It looks like... yeah, just a bare touch there. Now SMDU Carrot back up in third. Oh, very unfortunate to see the other Alpine have that happen as their teammate. Took over top spot here in the race after lap 4. We do have a yellow flag in sector 2. I'm not sure that that's going to do anything, as we do have VDB Dax sitting in 20th. I think they pit and are going to try to make sure that they can actually do something in this race. Again, we haven't had a safety car. We've held barely any yellow flags. DRS is enabled, and we're just going to keep on board with second, first, third, fourth place here at the moment. As we do have another caution in Sector 3. I'm not quite sure if Kapitsa and Dixie Wreck had a little bit of contact there coming into turns 18, 19, but looks like they've sorted that out. We've got the the Mercedes of Death Knockout right there, who is also a reserve driver. But yeah, I think right now at the moment, we are worried about VDV Ali running away with this race. And a boss in that Williams is trying to keep up. SMDU Carrot behind them, trying to stay within that DRS zone. Blade Strange in 4th has moved up a couple spots. That's 2. And we saw their pace last week at Baku. Unfortunate events caused them to have an issue. Young Light still sitting 5th and seems pretty happy there, scoring in double-digit points. Kratos sitting 6th right now, has already moved up 6 points. And now we do have a virtual safety car. Not sure what happened, but there must be some sort of debris on track. And what they're going to do is they're going to slow these drivers down to 30% of race pace. Everybody's got to adhere to their delta. And we're going to wait and see. So we are yellow flags, virtual safety car. You cannot pass. You cannot overtake. And what we're doing is everybody has to slow down and make sure they adhere to a certain delta. And those are the rules. So we just got Death Knockout. VDB Dax, has just retired from the race. Death Knockout just got a drive-through penalty for speeding on the safety car. And it looks like we're seeing a couple other drivers pit, which in F1 they can do under the virtual safety car. They will save, maybe 8, 9, 10 seconds at the most by pitting under a virtual safety car. However, those guys at the back, it may benefit them a little bit. Maybe they can get into a points eventually if we have another safety car. I'm looking at Tickle Me. I'm looking at Diask. I'm looking at Deco. They have all moved up quite a few spots. And then once we go up to the top, Kratos, VDV Ali, who have moved up lots of spots and are scoring double-digit points at this moment. But we are back to full racing. Virtual safety car has ended. And we are in a DRS train. So the virtual safety car does not stop DRS. That will still be enabled as we are just rounding turns 17 and 18 now, and getting ready to start lap 7 of 29. DRS should be available for some of these drivers on the straight. A little bit of late brake there from SMDU Carrot. A little lost the rear end a little bit. Started on those medium compound tires. Maybe they're not working that well. We'll definitely have to see what the pit strategy is here. We're going to ride on board with SMDU Carrot just a little bit and see how they are taking. Yeah, a little bit wide there. Got to brake a little bit earlier there. And I think that's going to open up the door for not only Blade Strain, but Kratos, especially coming out of this sector 7-8 and into the DRS zone. Who's got the DRS to burn? I think Kratos is right behind them, pulling Young Lights as well, who's on the hard tires, just trying to sit in that slipstream. What's going to happen here? Looks like Kratos has gotten by Young Lights. Yeah, obviously. SMDU Carrot. Blade Strange got by SMDU Carrot, obviously. So we're just trying to keep an eye on these drivers. The helicopter view here is not that great, especially around here, and especially with all the overpasses and everything that you can't really see. But now what we're going to see is a switch in who's got DRS, as those detection zones are completely different. Is that Aston Martin going to be able to put it on? Oh, absolutely. Open that DRS and wow, just fly right by. Looks like Young Lights and Kratos, that's going to be another issue behind them. So we definitely want to keep an eye on that. NL Boss and VDV, they're still battling it out a little bit. Looks like NL Boss might have had a little bit of a rear end malfunction there. Kratos in that Red Bull, still battling out. Now down the inside on those medium compound tires. Can he hold the inside? Going down through turns 1 and 2, now 3 and 4. Is those medium tires going to be available to hold on? It looks like Young Lights is going to have to lose a little bit of time there. That's going to bring the Ferrari of Kadri right up into the mix. We've seen his pace. We know he's pretty quick as well. Kratos up 7 spots since the start of this race in the Red Bull. And one thing I have said about those Red Bull drivers, he's the only one left. He was the only one that actually started this grid. That's kind of interesting. Where's the other Red Bull? We've got 20 drivers. There's only one Red Bull. No, Deco 24 is driving that Red Bull right now. I will say this about Kratos. He has left that rear end up to his own what he wants to do with it. And I've seen that rear end step out from that Red Bull many times in the last 4 races. But he has no problems handling it and has been able to manage it. And all over the back of two of these drivers. Blade Straight's SMU Carrot better be wary because as soon as you get on that gas, we're going to see Blade Strange is going to have the DRS. I don't think SMDU Carrot does. Is it a Bosch? Nope, that's what is happening right now as the leaders are doing it. On the inside goes NL Boss on VDV Ali. They are side by side, the Williams and the Alpine. Who's going to leave space? Looks like they both are doing very good. But what happens was NL Boss ended up with the inside line. No. VDV around the outside now. NL Boss got the inside. It looks like, no, it was VDV that had the line, the proper line going through there, and it was able to hold on and fend off NL Boss. SMDU Carrot, Blade Strange, Kratos, that battle was still going on behind us. But what we're going to ride on board with these leaders at this moment. We're only on lap 9 of 29. We do have a yellow 1 sector flag. I think there might have been just a touch contact there coming around turn 1. But at this moment, we've got these leaders. They're in half a second of each other. I know there's other things going on in the back, and maybe Kratos will take over Blade Strange, and maybe Kadri and Hogern and all of them will fight with each other. And there's other things going on back, especially in 12th, 13th, 14th place. But right now, we've got Williams and Boss going down the inside. A little bit of a bully there. No matter, though. Taking the outside line around turn 12. Now to the turn 13, 14, 15 complex. Looks like, you know, Boss and now Williams has pushed himself into first place. However, he is going to be suspect now to that Alpine, especially with the DRS about to open up, going down into turn 17 here. We're going to ride on board with VDV Ali. Does he have enough time to get down to it? NL Boss defending the inside line, pushing to the outside line. Nothing wrong with that. As long as you don't make contact, you've done a great job. No, it looks like VDV Ali had the better traction on the outside line, and Bosch just had it back out. Now he's going to get the DRS and the run, already obtaining the outside line going into turn 1. Is he going to try to brake late, break early and do the switchback? No, he's put himself in front already, as we have this huge fight going on with VDV and Bosch. The Williams and the Alpine are going after it. And all this time, that's nothing doing nothing but letting SMD, Garrett, and Blade Strange just catch up with them. As we've got one of them backing off just a little bit, but we'll get DRS again. SMD Garrett not really catching up. Blade Strange all over the back of SMD Garrett. Kratos definitely grouping up 7 spots from the start of this race. Absolutely amazing. No, we're going to ride on board with VDV Ali, who's got the DRS. He's going to the outside line here, especially into the turn 11 through 14 complex. That's going to be interesting. Made the pass, has the inside line now, but we're going to see what has to happen here as they make their way through these 2 blue cars. It's really hard to differentiate them. But what a fantastic race we've had between these 2 drivers. Now Enel Boss is going to get the slipstream and the DRS coming out of turn 16 and down into turn 17. But again, SMD UK now has slipstream. Blade Strange now has slipstream. Kratos now has slipstream. Young Lights, not quite, but getting there. Oh, and a late braking. Great move there by Kratos. I will say this, late brake, hit the car in front, but was able to hold on to not spin them out. I will say that. You cost you both time, but at the same time, you didn't ruin the driver in front. So I will give Kratos a little bit of respect for that. Slowed it down, hit the car behind, spun them out, but then kept them straight. But no, right now, we're on board with Enel Boss. We're going to watch him as he is rounding through turn 7, 8, 9 now. Let's see what's going to happen here. Can they get on the gas better? Who's got the better setup? Who's got the better traction out of these turns? Will be VDV Ali. I mean, he took the place in the first place. Enel Boss started second. VDV Ali has moved up 5 positions already and is absolutely controlling this race at the moment. They've been fighting. They've had a few battles, but they're still pulling away a little bit. They've allowed their fighting to allow SMD, Blade Strange, Kratos, Young Lights, all of them, back into it. But who gets the better exit out of turn 16? And obviously, Enel Boss is going to get the DRS, but SMD UK right behind him in that slipstream. We're going to see a double overtake coming down into turn 17 here. This is definitely an interesting race. I've had a fantastic time commentating this for you. We are here with Elite Aspect F1 Gold League. This is why it's called Gold League. These guys are great. I don't even care that some of them are reserve drivers. They're doing fantastic. They start on the medium tires. They pick the right strategy, and we've got close racing. They're not holding back from each other. However, they know not to hurt each other at the same point. This is why we have good drivers. This is what we like to see. This is what we want. Young Lights dropped down to 6th, but on a different strategy. Looks like he does have a penalty as well, so that's unfortunate. Maybe he can make that up here with an undercut. We'll see if they can maybe take the hard tires a little bit longer and undercut somebody eventually and come out on the medium tires and put a couple laps in that are absolutely ridiculous. But we haven't seen a safety car. We haven't seen a safety car, which we have seen in the other races early on. We haven't seen one here yet, as we do have SMD UK within 3/10 of the driver in front of Enel Boss down into turn 11, now around turn 12 into turn 13, 14, 15, 16. Who gets the better exit? We do have the DRS, of course, and the slipstream, but at the same time, it looks like we're in a slipstream effect here. We're in a DRS train, but at the same time, it is possible that we see an overtake. So Blade Strange is dropping back just a little bit outside of DRS. Young Lights outside of DRS. He's got Kadri right behind him in DRS. Kratos, Hoggard, they've dropped back a little bit. So it looks like we're kind of differentiating the field just a little bit. But at the same time, these top 3 drivers are all over each other. They're all staying within 5-6 tenths of each other. And we're going to just watch these guys go after it. Guys and girls. I don't care who you are. I don't care about pronouns. I mean, I do. But you can call yourself whatever you want. It doesn't matter what you are. Right? So my eyes are actually on SMD UK, who did start this race in first place, and is now down in third. Obviously, they have the pace to put it on pole, and have no problem pulling out a gap to the driver behind and just sticking with it. So if they can push their tires a little bit further, do a little bit of tire management, and just stick with the drivers in front and either do an undercut, or maybe it's possible around here we see an overcut. So it definitely is possible. Young lights all over the back of Quadrille now. What we will do is we might see an overtake in just a moment, as we do have young lights. Maybe those hard tires are now coming into their own, and the medium tires are losing a little bit as we are on lap 13 and 29. That does seem reasonable to see, but at the same time, we're going to move back up to the top. VDV has left the session, so has Death Knockout, Dixie Wrecked, and Kubica, also a DNF. So, God, it's really interesting that now NL Boss trying to do the undercut, apparently. Coming in early, putting on a new set of tires. That puts SMDU Carrot up into second. But we need to keep an eye on NL Boss as he's dropping down positions through the pit strategy. But again, maybe the undercut is the thing to go on. If you're losing time and you feel like a fresh set of tires will help you, then that's exactly what you need to do. As we see a driver now, CPI 0, fresh set of hards, putting in fastest lap up to 7th place. So this is interesting, very, very interesting. As Young Lights, though, started on those hard compound tires, is going to run them long and then have a better set coming at the end. I will tell you, though, right now, a safety car would hurt Young Lights. It would benefit Kratos. It would benefit Boss. It would benefit Blade Strange. And it would benefit VDV and SMD. If a safety car came out right now, it would hurt Young Lights because he would have to pit. But if he can go on, carry on, it shouldn't be an issue. VDV just got a penalty, and SMD UK right behind him on those medium tires. I'll tell you what, guys. I don't care who you are. This girl's quick. She's fucking quick. So Young Lights takes over second. SMDU Carrot takes over third. VDV is now third. We'll see where he comes out. I'm going to assume it's going to be right around 8th, 9th, maybe 10th. Could be much higher than that. Alright, so it comes out in 6th. That's actually not bad. We'll see if there's a little bit of a gap on those hard compound tires. Can they actually start putting in faster laps? We've got a yellow flag in Sector 3. I don't think anything really happened. I think it was just somebody slowing down to get to the pit lanes. SMD UK is the lead of this race right now on those medium compound tires. Looks like she's making them work pretty well. Young Lights behind her on those hard tires. He's got a penalty, so that's going to be interesting to see how that runs. VDV Ali still up 2 positions, even though he's coming in pit and put on those hard compound tires. Getting passed now by Blade Strange, who I believe pit early or maybe started on those hard compound tires. Not quite sure. I'd have to go ahead and look at something about that. But maybe those hard compound tires are working a little bit better for Mr. Blade Strange there, who had a fantastic race at Baku just last weekend, who was up at the top at one point and ended up having some issues, or, safety car didn't come out at the perfect, proper time for them. I'll tell you what needs to happen, though. And SMD UK is going to pit right now, right? All right, so what Young Lights needs to be doing, he's pitting as well. That doesn't make any sense. So NL Boss is going to take over the lead of the race again. And, yeah, we'll see how that works out for them. I think Young Lights has kind of hurt himself. But at the same time, he started on the hards, took them almost as far as they did with the mediums. So hopefully he'll be able to catch back up. NL Boss is taking the lead of this race. Blade Strange in second. VDV Ali in third, who was leading this race for a little bit. CPI 0 up in the fourth, where he started. SMDU Carriage dropped down to fourth, but also going to be on much fresher hard compound tires going to the end. EQZ, Country, what a great race he's had. Up into third in that Ferrari, and Kratos up into 8th from 12th. That's fantastic as well. So there's a lot of other things going on back in this race. We've got tons of things going on, and we still need to keep talking about them. We've got 14 laps left, 13 and a half laps left of the Miami Grand Prix here for Elite Aspect Gold, round 5 of Season 1. But, I mean, it's just as tight as it is at the top. And we're going to have to see if these drivers are going to pit again. That's going to be interesting. We don't have DRS enabled for some reason. Oh, there we are. So rear wings are open, but it's almost a train in the top 3. As then Boss, he's just got that car set up to be fast in a straight line, and he'll lose a little bit of time. He doesn't care if the other drivers behind him have DRS. He's going to save his ERS and push it and push it and push it on those straights. So fantastic race from him. I mean, it's not just about how fast you are around the track. It's about getting your car set up. It's about having a proper strategy, and it's about being able to use everything at your disposal when it comes to ERS, your downforce, your less drag, everything. So yeah, and it comes up to your, how you feel about the race car. Like, I like to put a little bit more rear downforce because I want my rear end to feel nice and planted. But at the same time, I come out of a turn, I have a better run at a car, but then they pull away from me because they've got a less, downforce at the rear end and less drag. So that's just the way it works sometimes. But no, we're going to keep an eye on these 3 drivers. I mean, the top 3 are separated by, 1 second, all 3 of them. So we're going to keep an eye on them. Alpine, Williams, AlphaTauri, Alpine. SMDU characters drop back to about 4 seconds. Kadri, I know, Ferrari, sitting in 5th place right now, has moved up 4 positions and is battling SMDU Carrot and maybe make that overtake soon here. But no, what we're doing is we're watching these 3 drivers right now. Blade Strange, NL Boss, and VDV, who have all at one time led this race, as we do see Blade Strange move to the inside, down into turn 17. Take lead of the race, starting lap 18 of 19. DRS behind him now. Is he going to be able to hold on? He holds the inside line just a little bit, moves the outside, tries to maintain that position. But no, these drivers are so close at the moment. We've got AlphaTauri, Williams, Alpine at the moment, with the Aston Martin and a Ferrari right behind them. This has nothing to do with real F1 racing at the moment. These drivers are all on equal. Every car is the same. No problems with that. You set up your car, you do it the way you like it, you bake your own strategy, and you go out there and you race and you win. That's the objective here. But no, these drivers are all over the back of each other. Now as they exit turn 9 and 10, the DRS is going to be open. Who's going to make the move? Who's going to set the... That's the problem, though. We've got 3 drivers. They're going 3 wide. The Alpine of VDV has lost a spot. No, they're still battling. A little bit of contact there. No problem with that, though. Just a little bit of wheel rubbing. Looks like the AlphaTauri of Blade Strange is going to lose out, though. No, it looks like VDV has backed off a little bit here as we go through the 14-15 complex. Round through turn 16. Who's going to get the DRS now? It says if you were ahead and then got passed, then you don't get it. The AlphaTauri has now moved out of the slipstream, has the DRS. Looks like VDV will as well. He's got to move out and try to get into the slipstream of the AlphaTauri. Down the inside. No, the AlphaTauri of Blade Strange has now been spun just a little bit, but recovers very, very well. Very, very nice. But now SMDU Carrot is going to be all over the back of them. So I think that was a little bit of contact. That's very unfortunate. Not sure what I'm going to call that. But I'll tell you what, Blade Strange, all he needs to do is get in the wheel tracks of that car ahead and try to make up some pace. Just a little bit. I mean, if you can make up, 3 or 4 tenths a lap behind another car, open that DRS, make up another 3 or 4 tenths a lap, you'll be right back in there. But no, we've got to move back up to VDV Ali at the moment because that's where the battle is. And we're going to keep watching those 2 drivers. These are the lead drivers. If they're within less than a second of each other, we're not taking our eyes off those. I'm sorry if there's other battles going on behind. Kratos is going to probably overtake Hoggard here. Kadri might overtake Blade Strange, and SMDU Carrot. I don't care at the moment because what we're driving, we're watching the leaders as the Alpine of VDV Ali goes down the inside, but can he hold the outside line? And then we get into the whole turn 13, 14, 15 complex. Again, the Alpine of VDV, who has moved up 5 spaces. They don't know about started second. VDV started, I don't know, 6th, and has moved up 5 spots to overtake and get into the top spot again. We're on lap 19 of 29 here for Elite Aspect F1 Gold League. Toxablade is now retired from the session, and that's going to pull a safety car. Wow. Well, that changes everything. We went 19 laps without a safety car. We did have a virtual safety car. We had a couple yellow flags here and there. But these drivers are now pulling back into the pits. And, yeah, that's going to change a lot of things. So first we're going to do this first round of pit stops. Alright, VDV, that's fine. Unfortunately, it looks like we could have had something fun with SMDU Carrot, but they were disqualified for ignoring yellow flags, apparently. Not quite sure what happened there. I tell you what, while we're under the safety car, and there's something we can maybe talk about just a little bit, is, no, here's the thing, if people go into the pit lane, and you pass them, and move up spots because you don't want to pit, but you can't pass anybody on the safety car. So, but it's fine for you to do that. But at the same time, I think the game doesn't recognize that. Like it just says, oh, you just passed somebody. Doesn't matter if it's under safety car or not. That could have been the issue there. And no, I think the issue there is that SMDU Carrot just got disqualified for no reason. For just wanting to stay out. Would be in first place under the safety car. Probably wouldn't maintain it, especially with all these guys putting on soft tires. They're ready to pit behind them. But at the same time, that's a great way to finish in the top 10 and guarantee it. But then getting disqualified for it. I think that's a little harsh. I think that's exactly what happened. I'll go back to Baku. Like if you miss the braking zone into turn 1, I don't know, turn 4, turn 8, there's a runoff where you can, just go in a straight line. And then when you reverse back out, the game tells you that you're going in the wrong direction. Which is okay, fine, you're reversing. But you look back and you see other cars coming, so you stop and you don't want to just reverse into everybody behind you. Timer's still counting down, and then you get disqualified because you tried to do the right thing, and the game just doesn't know what it's doing. And I will tell you, I think F123 is probably the better of F121 and F122, especially as far as lobby stability and the actual game itself. But there's definitely some things that they need to fix, especially with the formation lap kind of stuff and disqualifying people for no reason and the wrong reasons. I would have to say that. While we're under safety car, and I just get to talk about and give you my feelings and what I think about the game going forward. I mean, there's a lot of things that need to be fixed. There's, some bugs and still in the game, and it'd be nice if, we got a good game and a game that worked. And we don't have good racers like SMDU Carrot who get disqualified halfway through the race just because they decided they didn't want to pit. onto the safety car. And so we do have the 2 Alpines sitting 1 and 2 at the moment. Safety car is coming in this lap. And we're going to get back on it. I'll tell you what, Blade Strange 2, I mean, moved up quite a few places. We're going to see what Young Lights can do. But we've had most of the drivers behind pit. So it's going to be up to VDV Ali. Oh, and what a good getaway he got. He was just like, you know, I'm just going to pit my tires and I'm going to go. That's going to put his teammate under pressure from Blade Strange. Obviously, the AlphaTauri already on the inside. Are the brakes that much better? They put on medium tires. I think VDV put on the soft tires. You know, Boss put on the soft tires. He's already over the back of them. So that's going to be interesting to see. Because you know, Boss already moved up to second place, able to brake a little bit later. Able to, oh, and there's contact. There's contact. CPI 0, moving back down the grid. Young Lights on the soft tires. Maybe it did work out for him. But hey, he could be a Fernando Alonso for us and just be consistent top 5 finishes. Hasn't got on the podium yet, but I mean, you win consistent 10 points every race, double-digit points every race, you're going to be up there. Now, we still have a lot going on with these drivers, and we're just going to stick it with the top. It looks like VDV Ali got away just fine, so we're just going to stick with these top 2, 3, 4 at the moment. Young Lights, Kratos, EQG, Blade Strange, they're all Hoggard, all in there. Just keep moving back and forth. There is going to be no DRS for another lap or so. So that's going to be interesting. Who's going to use the slipstream to their advantage around this track? We only have, 6-7 laps to go. Going to be interesting to see what happens. Not much anybody can do right now, but yeah, at the same time, this is getting really, really interesting. Who's on what tires? Who's on what strategy? Who is going to get DRS? We've got a lot of drivers that first and second have gotten away from each other. Got them a little bit, but no, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. They're all in this. Any of them can do it. This is going to be fun to watch. Right now, my driver of the day is definitely VDV Ali Elite, who's in top spot and moved up 5 places. Kajril might be the next one to move up just a little bit. But Kratos, again, I mean, in that Red Bull, has been able to move up tons of places. Sorry, Tickle Me, Diask. Yeah, they had a great race. They hung in there, but, I mean, you moved up 7 places, but you're not gaining that many points. VDV Ali was in 6th place. Out of the double digits, is now securing top points. It's just amazing. No, but what's going to happen here is after this lap, we are going to see DRS open again. All these drivers are just following well, really, really nicely. This is what it looks like to me. And El Boss has gotten back into DRS, so that's interesting. We're going to actually ride on board with Boss, who does have softer compound tires. And he's going to be quicker in the first sector. He's going to be quicker in the second sector. And if he controls his tires and gets them lit up right, he's going to get great traction into the third sector. VDV Ali has a penalty, which is very unfortunate. So we're going to see what happens here, because DRS is enabled. Not enabled for this one. Yeah, there it goes. 6 tenths. There was 6 tenths and losing time. And no, that's Blade Strange coming by in the AlphaTauri. Down the inside on the medium compound tires. What a move from Blade Strange there. Absolutely taking control of this race at the moment, especially on those medium compound tires, because lap 28, lap 29 on those softs. Let's see what's going to happen here, because that's very, very interesting that Blade Strange said, you know what, I'm going to put my nose there, and I'm going to take it. Great racing by NL Boss. Great awareness at the same time. No. VDV, Blade Strange in the AlphaTauri moves to the inside, takes over the position. VDV tried to get on the gas a little bit earlier to try to hold them off and make sure they could, but no. Now NL Boss is going to take over second place. That's going to allow EGG Carril to take over third place. VDV, who would lead in the race after the safety car, has now dropped down to fourth. And if he's not lucky, Kratos will take over top, more double, an extra couple points here. Blade Strange has raced at a fantastic race. Excuse me, I'm trying to hiccup and burp at the same time, and I just can't do it. I just keep talking too much, and then I can't talk so much because I'm inhaling and exhaling and trying to talk and all this, that, and the other. And then I'm excited because we've got 4 drivers who are all within 1/2 of a second of each other, and we're about to hit our DRS zone. So I don't know what Blade Strange is going to do to defend all this. EQZ Cadril and the Ferrari is probably in the best position. And Boss on those tires, is he going to be able to make a move? We've already seen the straight line speed of the Ferrari. We've seen the straight line speed of the AlphaTauri. Not sure what's going to happen as we ride on board with an Boss. He got to the inside, definitely bullies the outside line. No problem with that. Gonna take it. That's fine. And Boss takes the lead. Blade Strange comes right back. Kadri right behind him. That's amazing. Like Blade Strange said, you know what? Go ahead and take it. Take the inside line. Now I've got the DRS. I'm gonna take first place. We've got 3 laps remaining. 4 laps remaining. 3.5 laps remaining. VDV is still in there. He lost a little bit, but on the soft compound tires, so maybe he was saving a little bit. Well, if he was saving a little bit, then he needs to get his ass in gear. As we're also seeing Kratos up into 5th place in that Red Bull. He's not backing off. He's got the medium tires. He's saying, you know what? Fine. But he put his nose there, and nobody cut him off. Good for him. Get that DRS open. Let's see what happens here. This is going to be a fantastic finish, ladies and gentlemen. We're not going to shy away from any of this. This is going to be absolutely beautiful and absolutely lovely. And I'm so glad that I'm a part of it. And I just want to watch. I just like to watch good drivers race each other. Sometimes there's nothing I even need to say. But wait. Did Boss get DRS? Uh-oh. Kadri did in the Ferrari. And he probably gained 4.5, 5 tenths there. If Boss has extra downforce, then that's one thing, especially getting through Sector 1 and the second half to Sector 2. But we've got other things changing in the back as well. So this is definitely an interesting race going forward. Only 3 laps left. Who's on the tires? Who's going to... Boss is outside of DRS right now from Blade Strange. Who, again, I will say, in Baku, was very impressive. Very impressive. I think there was an issue at some point, and something happened, but at the same time, had pace. So this is definitely going to be interesting, as we are with EQZ Kadri in that Ferrari. Gaining. Got it, again, less than a half a second there, but VDV in that Alpine still gaining. So I think Kadri might have a little too much downforce on his car. And isn't able to actually pull the overtakes out. As those soft tires of NL Boss will be waiting just a little bit here in these final laps. But we're not going to take our eyes off of it. 4 tenths as you come out of turn 16. Still not enough for Kadri to be able to overtake NL Boss for another step on that rostrum. Great defending by NL Boss, and we'll give him that as well. We do have a yellow flag in Sector 3 for some reason. No. I think Kadri is just waiting. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, set him up and pick your time. So great race from Kadri. He's moved up 6th place. Right now, I would say Blade Strange is my driver of the day, but I wouldn't take it away from Kadri as well. Kratos as well, moving up that many spots. The Ask, fantastic race from him, from the Aston Martin driver. Fantastic race. But no, here we go. Got the DRS. This is the big one. Just like Jeddah, this is where you bake the muffins. Does he do it? No, brakes early. Wants to set it up. Stay close. Very good. Very good. We saw a move behind us, but I'm not taking our eyes off these top three. I'm not taking our eyes off these top three. What I will do is I'll move back just one and make sure we keep an eye on all of them as best we can. Because my job is to make sure we watch this race. But I think Kadri is just setting Boss up to take that in the second spot. Sucks that CPI 0 just got a little penalty. But there we go. The Ferrari down the inside of the Williams, overtaking second spot there, as we thought it might happen under DRS. But no, and Boss is going to get DRS now, and he's going to be able to do it on the last lap of the race. Blade Strange, far and away in that AlphaTauri. Fantastic race. I'm not trying to take anything away from him. Kadri has moved up. Kratos now up to 4th place, taking over VDV Ali, who was leading this race for a long period of time. But I will say also that the Alpines have raced very, very well. It sucks what happened to CPI 0. That was unfortunate. But at the same time, no, we've still got racing to go on. We're not going to take our eyes off of this battle for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th at the moment. Because Kratos all over the back. Open that DRS. Who's going to get DRS? You know, Boss will. So will Kratos. Who's got ERS? We know that Red Bull was fast in a straight line. Who's going to be later on the brakes? And then who's going to set up the last move here into turn 17? Well, who's going to do it? Who's going to be able to do it? Oh, look how close these three drivers are. And don't forget, VDV Ali is right behind them. He got screwed over a little bit, especially with the restart. But no, they're weaving back and forth. Kadri is weaving back and forth. He took over second. And now Boss gets behind him back again for second. And in the final turn, has to go a little bit late on the brakes. Goes a little bit wide. Is Kadri going to be able to fight back? Is Kratos going to be able to do anything? He's got a penalty. But no, if you even finish on track better than, that's absolutely fantastic. What a great finish we had. Two drivers finishing side by side. I don't care about the penalties. It is what happened. Yeah, okay. You cut the corner a couple times. You finished 4th. Whatever. And Blade Strange. Fantastic drive from him. Finishing 1st place. Up 4 positions. And started 2nd. Finished 2nd. I mean, what can you ask? You can't ask anything from a driver to... If you start on pole, finish 1st. Great. Great job from him. But at the same time, drivers moved up positions. And, you know, got points. That's the main thing. And we saw that a lot. Kratos gets driver of the day, apparently. Everybody else can vote for driver of the day if you would like to. I think I would have given it to... Yeah, I don't even know now. But, I mean, that's going to do it. That's going to do it. No, I mean, fantastic drive. Fantastic drive from all these drivers today. I don't care who finished 1st, 2nd, or 3rd. They were just, I mean, it was a wonderful race to watch. It was a wonderful race to commentate. I actually appreciate the fact that I get the opportunity to even watch these races and even see these drivers in action, and then get the opportunity to say what I think about a few things. But no, absolutely fantastic. Blade Strange started 5th, 2 stopped, obviously safety cars, ended up 1st. Boss started 2nd, finished 2nd. I mean, what else are you gonna ask? VDV Ali started 6th, finished 4th. Young Lights put in the fastest lap, though. Started 3rd, 2 stopped, and still put in the fastest lap, though. So, yeah, I think he's going to have to rethink his strategy there. Hey, Young Lights, rethink your strategy there. But at the same time, I mean, yeah, Kadri starting 12th, finishing 4th. Look at the top 5 drivers. They all moved up besides NL Boss. I mean, that's just good racing. That's just good racing. And we had one safety car. It's probably because somebody else made a mistake and they ended up wrecking their car, not because they wrecked into somebody else. So I think that was one of the best races I've seen as far as F1 Gold in elite aspect this season. So I think that's going to do it. Absolutely fantastic. Actually enjoyed that and loved commentating that, and hope you guys are going to enjoy the replay. I'm Fabregas115 signing off for this race, and I'll see you guys next week at Imola.